and welcome to the Morning DNA.
We're in the wrong view.
Oh, no, we're on the wrong side. What is going on? Oh, no, we're on the correct side. We were on the wrong view. Hey, listen, it's the Morning DNA.
It's the Morning DNA.
I am Aaron Dyser, the man of a single black shirt. She is Danae Hughes, the woman of a million distractions, including who's on what side and what the layout is and all that kind of fun stuff. It is up to us today to find out what the morning of August 9th, 2021 is made of.
Can you imagine if we were actually somewhat responsible for what actually the day is made of for everyone? Like, how much more lame would life be? I mean, not lame. It would be so simple.
Listen. Mm-hmm. Would the power go to our heads? Sure, maybe.
Sure.
Maybe a little bit.
100%.
Sure. We're human. Would we have everybody's best interest in mind? Yes. So I think we're okay. I think we would be good like if you were going to have arbiters of the day, I think we would be good selections. Vote for us in 2021.
Mm-hmm. Vote for us.
Boy. It is so great to see everybody popping in the chat.
I know. It feels like it's been longer than a week. I know it's not been that long, but it feels like it's been longer than a week.
Yeah. I see Cesar and Lolly and Nick. Polly's hanging out in there. Doc, Rennie, like Jose. Like it's just like like hanging out with all your old friends like every week. I love it.
Hey,
Thank you guys for hanging out with us.
Yeah. It's a delightful thing. I love our morning DNA. I'm glad that we've gotten back into a rhythm.
Yeah, it's nice. How was your weekend?
Oh, it was good. My mom was traveling for a little while, and then she came back, and she immediately wanted to spend a ton of time with her granddaughter, which we're like, yes, please take her, enjoy her. And so we got to just have some child-free time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also wonderful because they get to spend time together and make memories together. So it was really cute. I got to see them on the couch. She bought her a book that has an app that goes along with it, like a companion piece. So the book is about all these different animals playing various instruments. And so you start the app, and when you turn the page, you click a button and it goes to the next one. And there's this music that goes along with every single page. And it's like the bassoon takes a front stage or the cello. And what was interesting about it is I was having these memories of when I was little and we were taken to the symphony. But it wasn't, it was symphony practice. It was like they were doing something specifically for kids in school where the conductor would turn and say, okay, now we're going to teach you about this one. And it was Peter and the Wolf, because Peter and the Wolf plays a lot with the various, instruments.
Sure.
And it was so fascinating to me to hear all of just the variety of sounds. And so that's kind of what was happening in this app, which was super cool. And there's like a little mystery that you solve and you look for certain things on the pages. But it was really, really sweet. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just really glad that I get to, not everybody gets to see their kids be with their grandparents and, have other people like love on them. And Iris was just giggling and they were looking through the book. And of course I was also having memories of when I was a kid with my mom. So it was really sweet. And then it was like, get out, go. I got things to do, which is play video games.
It's funny. I'm experiencing the reverse. And it's interesting that for the podcast audience, Danae has now slid aside so you can see her dogs. It's interesting that you do that because we have a dog in our house for the next week.
Dog sitting.
We're sitting on a dog, and he's a big chonky guy. Like
what kind of a dog is it?
I don't know if it's some sort of lab. I think some sort of lab mix or big lab. And he's not like aged, but he's old enough that he's chill, which I like, which is nice.
That's so
especially
nice.
with a big dog like that. Mm-hmm. And he seems to be well trained, and yet, Danae, I don't want him here. like I'm realizing, like, man, I am not a dog person anymore. Like, I just like pets go away. Like, you need so much, and I like have so much other stuff I need to do. And like right now, he's just hanging out upstairs, and my mind's just like,
get out.
Is he gonna find something? Is he gonna need to go out?
I know.
And it's just like. Yeah, I think I realized, like I told my wife, because she's such a dog person, and I've gotten dogs for her, before in our marriage, and dogs for our kids, and like And I like them too. Like there's the companion part is really cool. I really like that.
It's sweet when they come up and just like
Yes.
cuddle with
Yes.
you.
And I told them when we were done with pets, when our last two left our house, one a little bit traumatically, the other we gave away. I said, we're done having like pets as a family, but you are welcome to dog sit whenever somebody needs, to kind of get that, cuddle buddy feel and have a dog over and that kind of stuff. Like you're good. And I just realized this time, like I'm going to stick to that, but whew, I'm just like,
Are you telling me you're not going to dog sit my dogs anymore? Is
no,
that
no,
what
no.
you're saying?
We will. And I should also clarify, I'm giving attention and care and love to these animals in our home. It is just a psychological thing with, I'm ready to like full on empty nest this thing, get the kids out, get the dogs out. Let's live our life.
Everybody out! Get out!
I don't know. I think that part of that's healthy, I guess, but part of it is also, maybe I need to back the psychology down a little bit. But
no, it's all right. I think,
but it was like
there is something to it. I mean, I wanted a dog-free house.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that story, though.
Yeah. The other part of it that is part of this equation is I didn't know a dog was coming over until the night before.
Ooh,
so there was a part. There was
okay.
a part of it that was kind of like
you didn't have a chance to,
and it's okay.
Prepare yourself.
Correct.
For
It's
dog.
okay. Nobody did me dirty by not telling me. Like I've said, we can do this. There was no need to like ask permission or anything. Like have a dog come over. Like that was a thing.
Sure.
But
no. Wait, hold on a second. I think that's sweet. I really do. But let's just dig in a little bit.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
There is something to being told like, oh, we've got people coming over and not having a heads up about that. Okay, what's happening? Like Justin invited his sister to come over.
But that's different.
And that's different. Right, because it's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Do we have food? What's the plan or whatever?
Right.
It takes a little bit of adjustment. You're thinking maybe you were going to do laundry, but now you're going to hang out with people, and that's fine. A dog, though, hey, honey, I'm bringing a dog over. That, to me, requires a little more conversation. Just,
it's interesting.
Who is this dog? Where is this? Is this dog vaccinated? These are the questions I have.
I understand what you're saying.
Of course, we have dogs, so it's we have to actually think about like, is there going to be a tussle?
I understand what you're saying, but I think there's an understanding with my wife and I that bring a dog over, but you're kind of in charge of it. Like, so I don't have to worry about all those details you're talking about. I am confident she has had those conversations. She's prepared. She knows what's going on. So like I actually think that having humans over is a much more important conversation than having a dog over.
Okay, yeah.
Because if I were to say, hey, people are coming over tonight, like there's like, how does our house, like, I needed time to prep,
dogs
and like,
don't care.
Dogs don't care,
No, you do want to pick up the socks before the dog comes over. Because they will think that those are fun.
Yeah, those are probably fun. Anyhow,
I
that
had
is my experience this weekend.
I had a really hilarious moment with my dog. We have had to purchase a very specialized lock for our trash. So we have like a slide out drawer by the sink for our trash. And there's 2 trash cans back to back, kind of like deep into our cabinet. So you pull it out. And it would never quite shut. And the dogs figured that out pretty quickly. They could kind of nuzzle it and then it pops open and then they have access to the glorious treasure trove of trash. So we purchased... Yeah, we purchased a magnetized lock, which has complicated our life severely. This thing is the bane of my existence because every time I have to throw something away, I have to open a drawer, get the little magnetized key, stick it down below to pop the lock open, and then I can slide it open. And right now, that's the only thing. We're thinking maybe they'll lose interest. Nope. I forgot to close it all the way. And... suddenly here comes Reese's and his lips are kind of like popped out a little bit and his head is down. He's kind of attempting to get from the kitchen to the bedroom without notice. So he's kind of like, scooting by.
Yeah.
I call him over. He's obviously not wanting to come over. He kind of scoots closer. Then when I reach for him, he moves back. It's the whole dance of the dog has something in his mouth. Okay, I want you to imagine a slice of pizza fully in his mouth with the pointy side in the back of his throat, and his lips were out and over the crust. So that's why he looked really odd. It was like
It's like a cartoon.
It was. I was like, "What do you have in your mouth, buddy?" Because
your dog's head is just pizza shaped. It's just a triangle.
Like that. And so I said, "Buddy, what's in your mouth?" I thought something was stuck because his lips were, just looked so odd. And so I thought I was going to have to do the thing where you could reach in and grab whatever it is and kind of fish it out of their mouth.
Yeah.
But he just goes, "Bleh," and opens his mouth, and an entire piece of pizza just falls out of his mouth.
It's amazing.
Fully intact. All of the ingredients still on it, fully.
All the toppings.
Hits the ground. And I was just like, I died laughing. It was one of the funniest things. Yeah.
Hey,
it was
Danae,
definitely that.
your Twitch channel's being rated. What's going on? What does that mean?
Gosh,
Help me out with with like Twitch terminology and rating and stuff. So
Holy
welcome anybody that wants to
moly.
come hang out with us.
Okay.
So,
hi, and thank you for the raid. So that means on Twitch,
I'm vaguely familiar, but
once
yes.
somebody stops their stream on Twitch, what they do is they take all the people who are watching and they essentially like carry them over to another channel. And so
that's nice.
Yeah. So I have been rated. Let's see. I'm not even sure how. Was it by Jody? And you know what? My Nightbot is turning people into mean people. So that also means I've got my channel kind of moderated, and I'm seeing that a lot of people are probably experiencing a little bit of frustration in my chat. First of all, I have my chat turned off for a cooldown of 10 minutes, and that's because of my job. I have people that like to kind of come in and spam a little bit based on my job. So hang out with us for a few minutes and that'll cool down. If
Join
I
the
could
fun.
Figure out how to turn it off quickly, I would for you, but I can't. But Flickerclad, holy crap.
Oh, nice.
That is 58 people that are coming over to say hello and good morning.
Oh, that's cool.
So just a real quick introduction. I'm Danae. I am excited to meet you guys. I play Wild RP with a Flickerclad, and then also I am a YouTube personality on a CinemaSins channel. I work with Aaron Dicer. We've been doing a podcast for 10 years. We were in radio together. So every Monday morning we start off with a little show like this and just kind of talk about life.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever. It's really just it's a talk show that really you get to lead. We each pick a topic and you pick a topic. Yeah, Danae and I have been doing some form of show together for 10 years now, a decade now. And one of the things we loved was the ability to get together each morning on, this is how our, working relationship started. Well, how our relationship started was getting together each morning and finding fun stuff to talk about on a morning show for radio. And we wanted to keep that going despite our jobs being writing and YouTube and different things like that. And so kind of this is our outlet to hang out with people and do this thing. So yeah, welcome. Sub to Danae's Twitch if you want.
I'm like in the back of a Twitch, like, how can I turn off these settings so you guys can say hi? I'm trying.
We'll be here for another 30 minutes or so, 30 to 40 minutes or so. So
we're just getting started.
We are just getting started. And
actually for the Raiders, because most of you probably are used to watching the Red Dead Redemption roleplay, that's actually going to be my topic today. So
fun.
So stick around.
We'll be chatting
about that a little bit.
I was going to say, Danae's Twitch is the place to be. This also broadcasts to other places as well. If you use YouTube, you can subscribe to our YouTube. And if you want to go follow my Twitch, you can do that as well. There is a pop culture show that won't show up on this channel where we review movies and that kind of stuff. That is on my Twitch. If you want to check that out as well. Hi, Jody. Jody Hug Monster said hi.
Jody.
Hug monsters are the best kind of monsters. Can we all just be honest?
Jody is the best. Well, thanks for letting me take over our podcast talking about Twitch. But it is a really important part of what I do now. I'm really involved in the Twitch community. And actually, I intended on streaming last week some of my live role play, actually, for the first time. But your girl got hit with a headache and I missed my window. So, but it's coming. I will be streaming soon, and then I will watch all of you, and it's gonna be so fun. Okay, sorry.
So you have all these settings on your Twitch that now you're like, maybe I don't want to have these settings, or are you gonna leave them in? Like, what are you thinking?
I think I'm gonna flip them. I think I'm gonna turn them. So there was actually one day where we were doing a show, or maybe I was playing Polytopia. I was playing a game with someone, and they literally came in the chat, waited 10 minutes just to troll the person I was playing with. So, you know, if you really have something to say, you're going to stick around and say it anyway. But I turned it off because of the, well, you know, our job is high exposure, right? So I just figure once people learn that somebody from our team is streaming, I just kind of expect I'm going to have a few butts join. So I thought, oh, you know, give them 10 minutes to still be a butt, then we'll deal with it. But now that there's people that are coming in and rating, I want you guys to say hi. That's just part of the fun.
That is part of the fun.
I know. So I'm working on it. Well, I have no idea if I'll find it quickly, but that's okay.
No, that's all right. Hey, let's go ahead and get into it. You ready to shoe a dough? You want to shoe a dough?
I'm ready to shoe a dough. Let's do it.
All right. You want to explain to all our newbies what shoe a dough is all about?
Okay. Shoe a dough is a spoonerism for do the show, which comes from Aaron and I's background together on radio, doing a daily morning show and then launching into a podcast. So, it's been kind of a fun thing. It's a podcast form where we kind of experiment with different ways of telling stories and playing games and just being our goofy selves. It's an outlet for us because on radio, you really don't have a lot of time to talk because it wasn't a talk show. It wasn't where we spent ton of time. It
was a music show, yeah.
Yeah, so really we were the people in between the songs that kind of have a couple of interesting things that hopefully interesting things.
Fingers crossed.
Hopefully interesting things to say. And then at the end of that is when the music kind of kicks off. So we have just a quick kind of chat and then back into it. So podcasting for us was a place to actually have the deeper, longer form conversations where we could dig into things more. And so we decided, well, there was one particular day that Aaron said, "Are you ready to shoe the dough?" And
really, the look on her face was the reason that this is stuck, because I was like, "You ready to shoe the dough?" And she just looked at me like, what are we doing? Like, are there wild, creatures coming? Like,
first thought was Converse or like heels. I prefer flat shoes. Like Birkenstocks are comfortable. And then I was like, well, wait, what was the second word? Dough? Like kneading dough? Or like a deer dough? Yeah, it was like that. But turns out he was just being clever.
If you do podcasts and you want to subscribe, you can just search for Shoe the Dough or any of the Studio DNA podcasts. We accidentally created a podcast network. So if you do podcasts, you can check out all that stuff. We're on a few of them.
So so the topic for me today, the D part of the topic.
So let's
DNA and you.
Yes, we'll do the DNA and you. So Danae has a topic, I have a topic, and then we go to you for your topics. It can be anything you want us to talk about, anything that's on your mind, any question you have for us. That is the final part of the show. But D, what is the D topic today? Okay.
So this is in line with the video game we're going to be talking about today. Actually, I had two topics for talking about Red Dead Redemption Wild RP server, but I landed on, when have you turned something fun into a job for yourself? As I think I'm about to do that. So here's the little setup to my example, but as you guys think about ways that you could answer this question, and of course, pop them up in the chat. So I play a game now. I've been playing it's not even been a month yet. And my intention is to start streaming my adventures as this character named Sadie Jean, who lives in the 1900s, the early 1900s in the Wild West. So Red Dead Redemption is the game, Red Dead Redemption 2 specifically. And what these people have done, let me kind of give a little background because I don't talk about this part of what I do a lot. So just to kind of bring everybody together,
Can I try to explain it and see like how well I understand it?
I'm excited for this. Go for it.
My understanding is that it's kind of like
puppets, all puppets.
My understanding is it's long form improv in a game environment. So basically you use the game engine to create stories, long form improv stories where there are actors who play the different roles.
And I'm one of the
men
actors.
And women in the game.
Oh my gosh, I'm acting.
So I got it right?
You
I got
got it right, yeah.
Okay,
So
that's how I understood it, yeah.
the cool game mechanics of it is that there's developers who have private servers, and what they've done is they've taken the video game aspect, this world that was created in this sort of Wild West environment, and they've layered over the top of it their own development. So in order to be a part of the story, you have to apply to actually be able to play the game. So you have to be something called whitelisted on Wild RP. And there are other role play servers. This is just the one that I was introduced to by watching some players on Twitch. So I decided to apply, and then I've just been sort of thinking about what character I would play. Then I started to jump into the world, and I thought that I was going to just start streaming everything instantly, but I really wanted to keep it for myself because this is the first time I've done something like this, and I needed to kind of discover some of the core of who Sadie Jean is and really get into her before I start to kind of stream to other people what I'm doing. Because when you stream, you've got an audience of people that you're kind of also wanting to bring along. So all of that to say, Sadie Jean is somebody who is older in the game. So there's a lot of young folk, that create younger characters.
Oh, you youngins.
In fact, Flickerglad created a character who is, I think, like almost half of Sadie's age. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. So, thank you. Flickerglad says, howdy, folks. Just wanted to bring a little party along for the wonderful Danae, who plays one of my favorite characters ever. Thank you. I got to meet her character in the game, and they're amazing. And Rory Rabbit is the character's name, and get to talk about like what drives my character Sadie Jean and the things that kind of she can take from her background and bring into this new world. And one of the things is that she likes to write, and so the first character that she ever met mentioned the newspaper. So in the game, there's a newspaper, and there's an entire organization that runs that newspaper. And today, Sadie Jean has an interview for a job.
Oh, nice. Go get him, Sadie Jean.
So I have to submit writing, and then you need to play. I think you have to play a certain number of hours. I'm going to find out all the details of the requirements of this job. And I'm excited because it gives her something to do. It kind of gives her purpose inside the game itself. It gives her a reason to talk to people, although she doesn't need a reason. She's been meeting a lot of people. But I just realized this morning that I am turning my game into a job.
That kind of happens sometimes. Yeah.
Literally, I'm turning the game into a job where
it's a great question.
So there's sometimes we turn things that we love into work, and there is a balance to that. And so I hope to be able to kind of maintain that balance. Of course, that's the goal. So I just thought to ask you guys if you've turned something that you've enjoyed, like a hobby or something, into a job. It doesn't have to be negative, just sometimes, So go ahead.
Scott says, I was an English secondary ed major in 94 until I learned how to write HTML and made my own homepage in college. It was so much fun. I changed my major and have been a software developer ever since. It's interesting when those moments happen. It's one of the reasons with my kids, I was very... and continue to be very careful not to push them to go to secondary education, to go to college right away, because those moments happen at different times, and you don't want to be spinning wheels when you're not sure like what excites you and what kind of work really gets you going. For me, I was fortunate enough my freshman year, and this will be my answer to the question. I was fortunate enough my freshman year of college to fall into radio. And just fell in love with it immediately. I've always loved. I was majoring in communications anyway. Well, communications and philosophy. Imagine that.
What?
So what?
What? You?
Deep thinking and talking about it. What?
That's insane.
So radio was a really interesting thing for me, and very quickly had a show on the college radio station and started doing programming. And yeah, so it was one of kind of those things. And then it was only later in life where I walked into a radio station and was like, hey, can I help you guys out? And they were like, sure. And then that turned into like from a hobby into a full-time job. And then all of a sudden I had 2 full-time jobs, and I'm like, which direction do I go, and decided to kind of go in the radio direction. So actually this question is every single step of my life. Like even now writing for CinemaSins and doing, comedy writing and that kind of stuff.
Really true for you.
Absolutely was a hobby of like joking about movies. What more of a hobby have I had? Can you imagine me believing I could turn that into a job?
No.
Like, so that's just been my life, is paying attention to, amazing opportunities to be able to do what I already love and, what I would do if I didn't get paid as a job. Was it Mark Twain that said, find something you love to do so much and do it so well that somebody will pay you for it? Like, that's the thing.
And wasn't it, what's his face, McGee, who said, if you find something that you love, don't turn it into a job because then you might not like it anymore.
Oh, I've never experienced that.
Okay,
I have never experienced that, but I imagine some people have. But yeah.
I think it's fine. I think it'll be as long as when you find what you like to do, you keep that balance of making sure that it's a joy, Yeah. So because it's a video game, like I'm not talking about my real life. I'm talking about like the world of a video game where I want to be able to go in there and just like enjoy it all the time. And so I don't know. I'm nervous, not because of Sadie Jean getting a job. I'm nervous because I don't want it to be like a obligatory, like, oh, I have to do this now. I want it to be something I like want to go and do. Anyway.
That is always the thing, right? Like work-life balance, understanding, where you invest your energy, all that kind of stuff. Lolly says it happens a lot with crafting. Everyone says, ooh, you could sell those. In the end, we end up talking business plans and it loses the joy. That's what you're talking about. I need to remind myself it's okay for a hobby to be a hobby and not a failed business. Ooh.
This is what I'm talking about.
Ooh, okay. All right. I get
This is
that.
what I'm talking about.
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel that. Because sometimes you don't want to. Like my mother, she crochets here on Twitch. If you guys are crocheters and you want to follow her, she's at Breezy Lady B. I can try to put her in the chat here in a second, unless somebody else wants to link her. Although I don't even know that I can do shout outs on Twitch because I'm still new to the whole thingy. I haven't figured it all out. But she talks about that all the time. People, saying you could sell this and you could do that. And she's like, I just love to do this. And when you attach a business model to something, it does change things. I kind of feel the same way about Twitch in a way. It's like when you turn it into a business, then it's like, oh.
Hazard says, I started in the military and enjoyed playing video games. I ended up playing games at a high level and getting involved in the top end of esports.
Whoa!
That evolved into a career in esports during its early years, shaping it. 7 years as a full-time Twitch broadcaster, multiple voiceover jobs, and now I'm SAG-AFTRA, and I now work at the director level of a digital marketing agency with a focus on influencers. Great story, Hazard.
Moly.
Also, hi, let's stay in touch.
I'm sure Hazard's used to that, right? Like that's probably one of the top things.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I think when you follow the excitement of your path, it's so fun because you don't know where you're going to go. And especially if it turns into a job that you love or something that you're just like, this just comes naturally to me.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that I love to encourage anyone to do is if you find yourself doing something that comes very, very naturally to you and people keep saying, oh, you do this so well. And you're thinking that's super easy. Look for those open pathways down that road because then the energy just comes pouring through you for something that comes very, very naturally. Like I was told always to go into radio. I thought people were just being silly. Literally for years and years and years, you'd be great on radio. Who goes to radio? Who does that? So I finally, to shut them all up, called a radio station one day and said, people say I'd be good on radio. I don't even know what that means, but I'm calling you to tell you that people say I'd be good on radio. And there was silence on the other end. And then the person said, well, I happen to be the program director. And if you want to come in for an interview, you can come in if you want. And I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And then that turned into a career in radio. I was put on the morning show right away. I mean, right away after going through the interview process and Aaron, making sure that I'm not going to point this way, Aaron making sure that, they knew that there was actually potential there for a good connection for our chemistry. But like, Danae, you could talk for a living.
Right.
What?
You say that reminds me of voiceover, which is something I've, kind of stumbled into as well. The idea that that now when people train at Lowe's, they hear my voice. You know what I mean? Like, how is that a job?
Oh, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Wait,
What?
I recognize your voice. Are you the trainer
I've had
guy?
that. I've had that. Like, Lowe's employees like,
silly.
are you the one on our training videos? It's wild.
It's just silly.
Let's see. Polly says, as a kid, I loved and played with all sorts of cars. So I went to school for automotive, then worked in shops for a few years before one of several career changes. That's fun. That is definitely not one for me, but yeah, I know people are way into that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Let's see. What's Slinda Man have to say? I randomly started making hats as a creative outlet one day. I bought leather to make the front panels out of it, never made those hats. One day got inspired to make a hookah hose, made that one hose that led to hundreds more and eventually to other businesses and full-time streaming on Twitch.
Well,
Awesome.
That's
Mocha
how it goes. Yes, please follow Moco Made. I'm gonna put them up in the chat too. They're my buddies, and they do. If you are wanting to just have some fun things on in the background, they will suck you into their world. So you have to have a good fortitude to not get distracted by watching Moco Made in the morning or all day. They stream their work, and it's a brother-sister duo, and they're hilarious and lovely. So I'll put them up in the chat. Like full warning, though, like you will want to talk to them. I have had to stop going to Twitch to avoid the temptation to talk to them all day long and not work. Yeah. Ask to see the mock sock. That's all I'm going to say.
It's a good thing. I think there is another part of balancing this out, which is, it is a privilege to do what you love and to make money from it. And not everybody gets to experience that privilege. And I know there are many people working jobs because they need to, support themselves just through life. And their job is a way to contribute to society and also be able to buy groceries and have a place to stay. And that's, I don't want to make it sound like it's you're not trying hard enough to find your dream job. Like, dream jobs are a privilege and they don't happen for everybody. And I think, there's a real balance in understanding work-life satisfaction. And there are two beautiful things you need: to be productive and to scratch that itch of things you love, to be passionate and to be productive. If you can put those things together, that's beautiful. If not, there are many people who have those things separated, right? Who have productivity separated from passion, and that's okay too. It's okay, like was said, to have a hobby and pour your passion into that while you're being productive at this other thing and figuring that out. So yeah, that is the other side of it. I want to make clear when we talk about these kind of things is, I know everybody's situation is different, and dream jobs are a privilege. And I think it's important those of us who have our dream jobs know what a privilege it is to have them. So, yeah.
Here's one from Captain Rubble, who says, "My first job as a kid was teaching Vietnamese refugees English through role play at the Oxford University Press. 30 years later, RP may not be a job, but such a great part of my life with more value than the money from work."
That's what I was just saying. Yeah, you find somewhere for your passion outlet.
It's like you knew that was going to be a comment or something.
I didn't.
Here's an interesting one from Jackal, who says, go with me here, guys. This is interesting stuff. I'm going to be
great first sentence.
Let me before I read this out loud, podcast listeners, I do want to say, I am going to stream some of Sadie Jean's adventures, and this scene that Jackal is referring to will be streamed. I will talk about it and dissect it with you guys. Dissect. Here we go.
Hey, that's an appropriate word.
Jackal says, as a kid, I've always loved blood and gore. And as I grew up, I had dreams about stabbing things. So
talk to somebody about that.
School. Yeah, talk to somebody. So now I'm in med school, dissecting humans, and can't wait to legally stab and cut people through surgery. See, this is... I feel like
this is turning a negative into a positive. This is turning a negative into a positive. This is encouraging stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Take that and go this direction. And then Jackal also says, also my character taking part in cutting Sadie is unrelated. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I think that's related. So I will stream that scene at some point in time.
Great topic. Mine's a little fluffier.
Okay, let's go.
a little lighter.
Possibly a good shift after Josh's comment.
Yeah, after that last comment. The A topic for today, what's your favorite water animal and why? Now, I think this is a good one for you, Danae, because you don't like the water, right?
Easy.
But you have to have a favorite water animal. The reason this is on my mind is we went to the local aquarium, which is an incredible aquarium for the first time this weekend. It was an anniversary thing my wife and I did. We were just like, hey, let's go to this amazing aquarium that's like, 10 miles from our house that we've never been to. And so we went to Wonders of Wildlife, which is the Bass Pro Aquarium here in the Ozarks. And man, some of these water animals are so beautiful and so interesting. And yeah. So anyhow, it just got me thinking about what some of yours are. Danae, you're throwing some of them up on the screen. Do you want to just?
I mean, it's just
people
all
have
the
answers,
best ones.
so
Of course they do.
So go ahead and
but
talk about the answers.
No, we need to just talk about Lolly's answer because it is the best answer, and it is the duckbill platypus. Come on, how do you not choose a platypus? It is the most adorable creature on the planet. It's like a duck, mixed with an otter and a beaver, all in one, and they're fuzzy and they're so cute when they're babies. And somebody actually recently tweeted at me with like little baby platypus pictures, and I was not kidding. I lost like 20 minutes of my day just looking at the picture of the adorable platypus. So yeah, it's gotta be platypus. Platypus is the combination of adorableness from all angles. It's gotta be platypus. I'm sorry. I don't mean to say I'm gonna fight you on it, but I will fight you on it. Slenda said dolphin. No, Aaron, the answer is platypus. Slenda says dolphins. He's wrong. Lolly says otter. I mean, that's close, but also wrong.
Otters are cuter than platypuses. Otters are cuter on an over. Cute. They are so cute in the way they play, and like floating on their back with their little
But platypus is the answer. Okay. Mandy M on Twitter correctly apologizes that it's shark. It's okay. No, you guys can live whatever you want. I'm just being silly.
I did take some pictures while I was there of some of my favorites. And what's great about this, there's lots of things great about this aquarium. First of all, this the way it's set up. Danae, you've been there many times.
Oh yeah.
It's set up so well. Like you just, it's like
you don't even know where you are.
Yeah,
anymore.
But it's such a like walkthrough. Like there's none of this, hey, where do we go next? Hey, what do we do next? Like it's all like on this path, and it's just beautiful.
I would say if anyone ever is traveling to the Midwest, specifically Springfield, Missouri, I mean, we are the why not come here?
Mm-hmm.
It's so interesting.
It is. Lots of cool stuff.
There are trees. We have rivers. There are cows, lots of cows. But no, seriously, the World of Wonders of Wildlife Museum is a like nationally award-winning. I think it's the #1 aquarium in the nation. It's legitimately incredible. When you walk into it, you end up like going on it feels like it's 3 different levels, and you're kind of moving all around. And every time you turn a corner, you think you know what you're going to see, but then you're surprised by what you see. Yeah. So it's a delightful experience, truly. Yeah.
So the other thing I loved about it is it's so well lit, and I have a pretty decent phone camera. And so like taking pictures of the animals was so cool and so nice. And like, I don't usually do that, but I felt like a wildlife photographer. I was like, I'm getting great pictures, and I'm like showing them off to everybody. And like,
a sloth. Yeah. Right. You wouldn't think a sloth would be in the aquarium.
But it is. Yeah. There are some in here that you wouldn't think of. But I have to put up at least the picture of my answer to the question, which is the penguin. Penguins, for whatever reason, are just amazing. And I apologize to the podcast audience if we go through some of these pictures. I know you cannot see them. But
Listen, it is a picture of a penguin, and Aaron is happy with his photography. So
that's right.
We can say it's just a penguin. Your camera does take really great photos, though.
It made me feel like a wildlife photographer, like just kind of.
You're just gonna go through all your aquariums.
Listen, this is the home video portion of the.
It's like when somebody gets.
I've been on vacation. This is back in my day. We called this a slideshow, right? Like I'm gonna sit here with like my parents had actual slides they would do. They'd bring people over, sit them on the couch. So
no, it's like when you're captured and like you have.
This is my
Guys,
scorpion.
let me show you these pictures that I took on my vacation to the aquarium.
This is an albino. This is an albino crocodile.
Never mind. Y'all don't even need to go to this aquarium.
That's right. I
Aaron
got
is
it all.
taking you on the journey. I can't believe that you're doing this.
This is a beaver.
Oh god. Okay. Pause here.
Okay,
This
sure.
is one of my favorite exhibits at the aquarium. They have an octopus who blends in with its environment as they do, but it's really interesting to see.
It is cool.
Oh my gosh, I cannot. Are you really? Oh dear. I mean, that's a really great picture of a
Look at that seahorse.
seahorse. Yeah, that's a seahorse, man. I mean, that's something I could Google right now and show you 10,000 pictures of a seahorse.
Yeah, but it's just they're so cool.
Yeah,
like
but it's
that,
the seahorse. I took a picture of Danae. I took this photo. Well, I was inside the aquarium, so that makes it so freaking rad.
This is the other answer that I was thinking
That
of.
is phlegm.
Is is phlegm.
That
Is
is sea phlegm.
Is jellyfish. I think jellyfish are so cool.
This is when the podcast listeners are thankful that they don't have to see this, because who wants to see phlegm floating in the water? Nobody.
Nobody. The jellyfish room is maybe my favorite room.
Oh my God.
In the aquarium. I really, really enjoyed it. So yeah.
Linda Mott says, we are at the aquarium, Chad. Live from the aquarium. Oh my God. I have to say, Nick points out turtles. Turtles are my favorite. I love turtles. I didn't even think about that being an option. You are genuinely going to show all of these, aren't you?
It's my favorite. It's my favorite fish.
Captain Revel says, what? No love out there for beavers, the semi-aquatic lumberjack and landscapers.
I'll stop with this one. I love lionfish because they look like they're flying. Like, doesn't that look like that is a flying fish? Like, it looks like it has wings, and
You
I
are
love
killing me. You are killing me. Mandy M says, I like that chocolate mint frog. That was a poisonous creature. Don't touch it.
That's a tree
They have
frog.
like a little display of all the poisonous frogs, and they're really, really, they're really, really beautiful to look at. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Whew,
I will just have you know,
mm-hmm.
I did not kill much of our audience with that. You know,
No,
we
no,
only
no.
lost like 20%
70
of our
people
audience.
gone. Ice Poke says there's an octopus that uses coconut shells as a shield. Also uses tools around itself to break open shellfish and stuff. They're super smart. They're so smart.
Yeah.
Those octopuses are so, or no, they're octopi. The
they're
octopuddles.
technically octopuses. They are
okay.
technically octopuses, if you want to say it correctly.
Okay.
But
Well, I mean, I like to say things correct sometimes.
yeah, what's the My Octopus Teacher is a documentary that's on Netflix, and
I
it
was told
shows
to watch that.
yeah, it shows a lot of that stuff. No. I like
Don't.
anything underwater. I think
know,
you should
I
just
get
be
nervous.
careful
I
of.
know.
The octopus is in danger several times by animals you do not want to see it being in
Okay.
danger by.
Thank you. I will avoid it. My mother thought that I was terrified of octopuses, because of what happened on the radio that day.
Oh,
We should
yeah.
find that clip.
I can absolutely find that pretty quickly. I think.
You think you can? Should we play it for chat?
I think
How
we
how
can do
quick
that.
can you find it?
Let's
do a
probably
test.
as you're looking through other people's favorite animals. I bet I could find it pretty quick.
Okay.
Just give me a
Actually, you
second.
know what we'll do? Let's go ahead and shift over into the you question portion.
Yes,
So I'm
let's do that.
just gonna kind of express this. This is how this works, guys. Any question goes. That doesn't mean we're gonna answer your question, but any question goes. Just make sure you put a you in front of your question so we can kind of see it in chat. We've got a lot of people here today, which is exciting. Thanks again to all of the newcomers for sticking around with us. The raid from Flickerclad. Please follow Flickerclad. She is an amazing RPer who has a very dynamic character. So for those of you who are already in my chat, please go follow her. And really a lot of people in the Red Dead Redemption 2 Wild RP server community. It's a lot of fun. But here's how it works. You put the U in front of it, ask any question, and then we'll just scroll through the comments that come in and pick some questions to kind of wrap up our show this morning. Hopefully Aaron can find it. Now we have all of our I shouldn't say literally. I should say confidently most of all of our radio breaks archived. So we could genuinely play some of the stuff that we've talked about on the radio for you guys, and it'd be very interesting because
it'd be a lot like showing pictures of your aquarium
but
visit.
worse, so much worse. There were some fun things that happened on radio, and maybe we could just sort of do like a recap. Like I think about the raccoon day. I think about like there's just these epic moments that happened on our morning show that was a lot of fun. But this is one that happened live that Aaron is going to try to find the audio for. So while we wait for him to do that, if you guys have a question for us, just throw it up in the chat. Put a U and then any question you have for the Q&A portion of our DNA morning show.
Yeah, this is the AUA, Ask Us Anything portion of the show. So, yeah.
Yeah, Lucas confirms. Don't watch today. If you don't like Sharks Now, you won't like the... Oh, no, not the ending. Oh, no.
That's the worst, Lucas. Lucas, why did you have to say that?
Die? Oh, God. No. No, I want the octopus to live. That's terrible.
I'll just say Lucas is making it sound worse than it is. Everything is fine. Everything's good. Old Yeller lives. Everything's good.
You question from Scott Corin, Raccoon Day? All right,
tell that story, Danae.
Okay, so there was this particular morning I woke up. We had been hearing noises in our fireplace for a while. It turns out it was a family of raccoons. A mom and all of her babies had fallen into our fireplace and had been trying to get out. So when I realized that they had been suffering in there without food or water for a while, I broke down and started crying. I didn't know what to do. They broke the flue or whatever it is. They broke it open and they fell down into the fireplace. So when I woke up that morning, there was a very angry, very hungry mama raccoon inside my fireplace and several children. So Justin, my husband, had to go to work. I also had to go to work. Morning shows notoriously start very early in the morning. So animal control closed. 911, not helpful. So we had to leave the house with them still in the fireplace. And so I went to work and I got to work and I told Aaron, hey, I have some stuff to talk about on the show today, but I'm not going to tell you what it is until we get started. And so they're live to a live audience. We did the play-by-play of what could be happening back at my house.
She came to do the radio show with live raccoons wandering her home.
They were technically in the fireplace when I left the house.
Which is part of your home.
That's true. They did escape. That is true.
Didn't you put dog food to the door and leave the door open?
Yeah.
Not thinking about the fact that other animals outside might follow the trail of food inside?
No, yeah, I did that. Yeah. I felt
amazing.
so bad. I also put out water, I think. I felt so bad. My heart broke because these poor animals have been dying. Mm-hmm. That's the scratching sound I've been hearing, like we should have called someone. Why am I so irresponsible? Like all that stuff is just like flowing through my head. But did you find it? Okay, here it is.
I think
guys.
This is it. I think everybody should be able to hear this. This is what happened live on the air as we were watching an octopus video. What are they doing?
Why have they done this?
What is this?
What is that? What is that? No. Are you okay?
That was an octopus.
That was the creepiest. That looked like a little head with tentacles walking down the beach. That was not.
That's what I said. It was an octopus.
That's what it.
There you go.
That's the audio. The clip that we were watching on TV was an octopus out of the water walking down the beach.
I don't think you knew
the
that.
Most uncomfortable thing I've ever seen.
I don't think you knew that octopuses could do that.
No,
I don't think you
didn't
knew
know.
that was that they could walk on
Who
land.
knows octopuses can walk just like upright, like and it was the
No, I think it was
yeah.
The
Yeah.
best part is like the
It so uncomfortable to think about. Back to the quickly, just to wrap up the raccoon thing, and then we'll get to the you question from you guys.
Yeah.
So that launched our phones blowing up that day of call after call after call after call of home invasion by creatures. We heard the most ridiculous stories that day, like squirrels in the walls, and just it was amazing. And it became a thing, a yearly thing where we asked people to tell their when the outside comes inside stories, and we just launched it off of the raccoon story.
Every year, it's what we found out is everybody has a story of when the wild entered your home.
Yeah,
like
100%.
It's just squirrel stories and bird stories and bat stories and
So many
snake
things.
stories and just so many stories that people are like, yeah. So woke up and there was a snake in the living room and this is how we handled that. And it's like,
Oh
okay.
God, that reminds me of the story of my snake in the living room that somehow got into our house, and my husband decided to use my brand new butcher knife to take care of it.
Yeah.
Every single time I use that butcher knife to this day, I think, did we sanitize this all right?
Yeah.
Chop, chop, chop.
But yeah.
Here's a you question from Lucas who says, yesterday was Father's Day in Brazil. What are your traditions for celebrating Father's Day? We go to barbecue. We usually, like my dad and my husband both love barbecue. So we usually end up at a barbecue restaurant. Something pretty simple.
I think I've said this enough that some people may know. We are lame. We don't celebrate anything. We try to celebrate each other every day is our lame answer because we don't. I don't know.
so
You know,
loving.
like if my kids say Happy Father's Day, I'm happy. You know what I mean? Like if they recognize,
If they acknowledge your presence.
yeah. I text my dad. Maybe I'll call him. You know, and that's what our family is. We just kind of take it in stride. So
Here's one from Tyler who asks, traveling from Pennsylvania to Florida next month, that's a journey. What is a must need for making travel easier, especially with a 4-year-old? Oh, let me just get some more coffee for this one. I would say embrace the beauty that is the digital world and slap a tablet in front of that child. No, we try
You're
to play
not wrong,
games
though.
with Iris
I mean-
as much as we can. We also started doing something where we play a Daniel Tiger podcast for her, which is just us downloading an episode of Daniel Tiger and playing the audio through the speakers, because then they're listening and not watching. So they're engaging their imagination a little bit more than just watching something. And she loves that idea. So she asks for the Daniel Tiger podcast whenever we're going to have a trip that's over 45 minutes or so. I mean, they're short episodes, but she listens to the entire thing and we talk about the various things. I mean, that might be kind of annoying for a trip that long, but cycle through. Think about like maybe 10 things that you can do. And when you're out of ideas, just consult the list. Oh, we could play I Spy or whatever. And then if it gets desperate or if you want to, just find some really good games. Sego Mini has some really good games that are, you have to purchase them, but personally, I think it's worth it because they're very clean and they're interactive play minded. My daughter Iris loves the one that is about farming, just as an example. So you can move all the creatures around. You can feed food to all of the animals. And after 3 feedings, they poop. That's a delight for her. Just as you put the poop in the lake and it sinks down to the bottom. It's hilarious. It's entertainment for hours.
yes.
You can
Very
also
much so.
put the poop in the juicer and make poop juice. I don't recommend that being something that you point out like I did, because now that's something that she doesn't stop talking about publicly around people that she probably shouldn't say. We make poop juice. No, Iris, we do not make poop juice. That's in a video game. I am a good mother. I promise.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm a good mom. Oh God.
Here's an answer. We would leave at 10 p.m. And they would sleep the first, 8-9 hours of the trip. And
That's
so
smart. That's a late.
we would just make sure one of us slept during the day, and then we would get up and go at 10 p.m. And then the overnight driver would trade in the morning, and then they'd sleep the rest of the trip. So, yeah. So I don't know if that works for everybody, but when we did long trips in the car with our multiple young children, we would try to make sure they weren't conscious. as much as possible.
That's what Nick said. Tyler, I did this once with a 2 and a 5-year-old leaving in the evening and drive through the night, and they will sleep and then stop for breakfast in the morning, and then they wake up.
Yeah. Well, the key is stop for breakfast in the morning when they wake up, right? Like the idea is as
Let
soon
them
as they're
sleep as long
awake,
as you
let them
can.
sleep as long as they can. And then when they wake up, pull into a Cracker Barrel or wherever and yeah, have some food.
I'm just getting through a lot of the octopus stuff in chat. You guys are so funny.
I think we can do one more, Danae. One more. You want to pick one more you question for today? And then we need to
Yes.
close it out.
But I really wanted to say from Made Reaper, who says, it was a blast RPing with you today. Sadie is absolutely wonderful. She has everything we need
nice.
in our lives. Oh my gosh. And we couldn't have done anything last night without you. Thank you for being there for everyone. Charles. Oh my God.
Oh, thanks, Charles. That's really
Thank
kind
you.
of you to say.
Let's just talk more about that, Aaron. Let's not do any work today. Let's talk all about
All about Sadie. It's all Sadie all the time.
Lolly suggests a new segment where Danae explains animal species through sound effects and no words. Ooh. That would be
Nice.
difficult to do. Did you see a question in there? Did you see another question? Chat's
there's one more.
hopping. I'm loving it.
Polly says, what band did you used to love but now aren't so interested? My example is Metallica, and to me their new music sounds odd and out of place, like they are their own best tribute band. I get that. I can understand that. I think I have lots of answers to this question. Growing up in kind of the CCM world, the contemporary Christian music world, like there are a lot of those bands that I used to think were amazing, and I go back and listen to them now, and I'm just like, oh, this is not great. So I don't necessarily want to mention them by name, but
right. That's the
because I
embarrassing
still have
part.
lots of friends in the industry. But yeah,
So I'm with you there. There's times whenever I'll talk about a band that I like, and it's oddly vulnerable. I don't know. I don't know why it is exactly that. So what band did you used to love but now aren't so interested in? Oh my gosh.
well, we also have to say you don't
yeah.
often
I think about when I was a
know
kid,
band
yeah.
names. You just know songs
I
that
know.
you liked, and you don't necessarily associate them with. Like if you know an artist, it's because you love them. Like
Yeah, that's my
So-
personality. I tend to launch information I don't access regularly for good or bad. It's just how I am. So, but there was a band, I will say this band, no, actually I think, nope. I think I listened to them recently. I was like, oh, I don't know if I like this anymore. But yeah, a lot of it's the contemporary Christian stuff that I listened to when I was growing up where I'm like, this just doesn't jive with me.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
I also think that I love the complexity of music, and there's my tastes have just changed a lot. I used to listen to a lot of Bjork because she has so many different layers in her songs, so many different sounds, and so many things to listen to. And it's one of my favorite things to do is just put on headphones and like when a symphony starts and everyone just kind of locks in and it just sort of grows and gets louder and louder. That gives me soul chills. I love that feeling. It feels like I'm on this just wave of, I don't even know how to describe it. I think I've always had I lean into sounds a lot. A lot of my memories are about specific sounds that I've heard. So Bjork for me is one who plays with sound, and so I find her really fascinating because of that. But I did go back and listen to an album of hers recently, and I thought, oh, this just doesn't hit me the same way anymore. But I remember being completely obsessed with it, like absolutely obsessed. There's one song I will always love from her called Isabel. If you want to hear what the layering of sounds I'm talking about and just the uniqueness and getting into a rhythm, Isabel. It was real good. It's a good song. Okay, we're here. What? Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say we're finished up. So Danae, if you want to tell all our friends and all our new friends kind of the deal, we'll close it out.
Yeah, I have just a couple things here at the end of the show. How it usually kind of works is because I am on Twitch with all of you guys, we're going to do a raid. So I'll let you know who we're raiding here in just a second. But for Aaron and I, we go live every Monday at 9 a.m. Central. So we would love to see you again next week. We often try to go live again throughout the week on a Sunday, but we oftentimes are not able to. So just set your clocks for Mondays wherever you like to watch on whatever platform. And if you want to see more of what we do have a Patreon where we help other people launch their passion project podcasts. Aaron is involved in one called Sif Pop that's been also going for a very long time that's centered around pop culture. And there's other like little podcasts there that you guys might like. Our Patreon is patreon.com/studiodna, and you can find more information there. I think I covered everything.
Yeah. Just make sure you subscribe in case we go live on some Monday, or follow or hit the bell wherever you're at, so you know in case we go live on another day. Love hanging out with you guys. So fun to have the Raiders come in today and hang out with us. We would love to see you back next time we're live. But yeah,
there's a couple places I would love to send you. There's some really fun streamers, but because we talked about marine animals today,
yes, we did.
I'm gonna throw you guys over onto the Marine Mammal Rescue, which is just a constant feed of otters playing. And so to me, it's kind of a nice background, relaxing. You hear the water kind of coming in and out, and you can see the otters playing. Although at this exact moment, I don't see them on screen. Oh, that's not fun. That's not fun. Okay, we're switching gears. I'll send you over to CNOT, who is creating some incredible art today.
Nice.
Another good person to just kind of have on in the background while you go about your day. So his name is CNOT Bush, and he is a sculptor. And actually, CNOT Bush, this works out perfectly, is the reason that I found the Wild RP community, because he rated into Gregory Peppo. So I hope you guys will enjoy that.
Awesome. Love you guys. We'll catch you on the next Monday or someday. Bye.
We will catch you on the someday.